Hey folks, Globku here, and it's been a while since we've done a vlog, so let's talk about Magical Noob, the channel, the next step, the evolution of it. Ever since we started this channel 3 years ago, and I mean, I've been doing YouTube longer than that on another channel that we definitely will not talk about. We've all been working from home. First, I was working literally from my parents' basement, which still to this day is the room with the best sound that I've ever had. Every room that I've been to ever since, you just can't get rid of the reverb. It's a nightmare. Then I was at a time in my life where both me and my girlfriend thought it made sense to move out of the house, and it did. But at the same time, she got a job that was out of town, like 1 hour drive more or less. So we moved out of town, and I was doing content from the living room. At the time, the thought process was, you know what, she spends a lot of time in the living room, I spend a lot of time working. If I just move my workstation to the living room, we can spend a lot more time together. That ended up being a nightmare because every time I record, every time I do something with the microphone, she has to mute the TV or whatever she's doing, and she just can't make any noise. So it really didn't work out. It was very uncomfortable for the both of us. She was just trying to chill, I was just trying to work, you know, it doesn't work. But yeah, that job ended, so we moved back into my home city where we live right now, and we rented out an apartment where I was able to build this home studio, this room dedicated to my stuff, my gaming, my video production, basically. And there was a time, it was E3 this year actually, where we really wanted to create a lot of content. I mean, we did some stuff for Magical Noob, if you follow that, but obviously my main job is still TGN. They're still the ones who pay the bills. This is my passion project, as I always say it, but TGN, man, TGN pays the bills. I work for them. I got promoted to channel manager recently, so hey, they like my work. But we had a lot of stuff to do for E3, and both Fajitas and Warak also work for TGN, so we had the idea of let's get together for the duration of E3. During those 3 days, let's just crank out content. And we gotta be together to do that, to exchange videos, to exchange assets. You know, if you're all connected to the same network, it's a lot easier to do. And it was a success. During those 3 days, we produced tons of videos for both Magical Noob and for TGN. And now we're kind of looking back and thinking, well, if we did that during the 3 days, what if we just all move into a new space and just do it together full time? And that's what's happening. I just came back from signing the contract. We are renting out an office, and we're building a studio out of it, and why don't you have a look? Here's some video that I shot earlier today. The office is pretty much 2 rooms, a really big one and a smaller one. The smaller one will be pretty much like this. It will be the gaming studio, the recording studio, where we have the gaming consoles, the gaming PC, we have the microphones, and it will be a completely isolated room from the big one where we'll have the workstations. The idea there is I can record anything that I want, and Fajitas and Wara can be in the next room and they can talk to each other. You know, they don't have to be quiet because I'm recording or anything like that. They can just be comfortable, laugh at each other's jokes, and work normally, because that room is kind of cut off from the rest of the world. It's obviously not cut off right now. I mean, that wooden door is not going to isolate anything, which is why we're still going through a construction phase, which I hopefully will start next week. And then we got the big room where we're gonna have a table set. If you watched our E3 coverage, we pretty much sat around the table watching E3 live, commenting on it, reacting to it. And that's the kind of stuff that we'll do with that second studio set. It will be a studio where all of us are participating in a conversation, so it doesn't need to be cut off from the rest of the room. I'm not saying we'll have more podcasts on Magical Noob or we'll have more reaction videos or anything of the sort. It's just a necessity because over at TGN, they want me to upgrade the gaming news show, which I host on a weekly basis. So that's what that set will be for, but we'll also prepare it for podcasting in case we want to do podcasting in the future. And we might actually do that with a new channel that we've made in Portuguese, because that's where we're from, and a lot of these publishers are just like, man, you guys should make content in Portuguese, like we'd have so many more opportunities for you, but because you make English content and we're Portuguese PR, it's hard for us to get you these opportunities. So we're exploring that hypothesis, and we'll probably end up doing something in a podcast form over there once we move into the studio. But that's pretty much the idea. There's still a construction phase that needs to happen with sound isolation, acoustics treatment, building the sets, lighting, everything. And hopefully that will happen throughout the month of October, and hopefully in November everything will be ready. But you know, it's not just up to me. But that's the main reason why, first of all, we didn't bring you any videos last week. Yesterday I uploaded the Forza video, which you're seeing in the background, which is 20 minutes long because I just did not have time to edit. I didn't have time to write a script or topics about what I wanted to talk about. All the time I had was literally sit down, play, talk about it, and upload it. And I guess this vlog is also to ask for your understanding, because in October it's going to be very hard for me to create as much content as I've been creating in the past, because you guys know I still got my job over at TGN. I still got to do stuff for them. Well, the way I put it, I gotta do stuff for TGN. I like my job at TGN. They're awesome. But you know, that job takes priority over the passion project, which doesn't pay the bills. And as I'll be handling all the construction stuff from the studio, you know, it's my time is gonna be very constrained to create videos for Magical Noob. We'll still have the top 5 games worth playing. We'll still have the upcoming video game series. I've been making that for 2 years, never missed a month. I'm not gonna start now. But all the impressions pieces on video games that we make whenever a game comes out, those are gonna slow down a little bit. In fact, it might be time for us to review whether or not those videos are worth making, because despite the very helpful comments, like you guys say, hey, this video was very helpful, thanks for letting me know if this game was worth it or not, or just pitching in your opinions about the games. Like, that stuff is rewarding in the comments, but the views are just not there. And one of the most rewarding comments that I see all the time, especially in the upcoming videos, is that this is the most underrated channel of all time, or this channel needs more subs. And we know how to get there, so perhaps we should focus on that. But at the same time, you know, we like to play all the games that come out. We like to have sort of a big overview of the entire industry. And since we play the games anyway, why not just make a short video to let you guys know? The thing is, so many channels are doing that right now that the demand just doesn't keep up with the offer. So we might look into branching out, doing different things. I do enjoy making those spin-off videos that look at genres as a whole, for instance. Videos that look at the business side of video game making. I don't know, like the stories behind video game development fascinate me. And while I enjoy being a critic, if the views aren't there, maybe my time could be better spent somewhere else. I'm not talking about reviews, by the way. That is a confusion that happens a lot of times in the channel. Sometimes I publish an impression piece and someone will comment, oh, nice review. It's not. If it is a review, it will have review on the title, trust me. That is an impressions piece. That is those are my first impressions of the game. A good example is Recore. Like, I talked about Recore, I talked about some of its problems. The problems get a lot worse towards the end of the game. Now, everything I said in the video is still true, but now I have a much more negative opinion about that game now that I've finished it. It's an opinion that I did not have when I made the video, because, you know, that's a first impressions piece. So that's where the line is drawn. For me to review a game, I need to finish it. I mean, there are a couple of exceptions, but not too many. Or I need to just spend a lot more time with it to feel comfortable saying, these are my final thoughts on the game. These are my closing thoughts. This game is X, Y, and Z. So I just wanted to clear that up for you. Now, I know I rambled for a while, but this is a big move for us, moving out into a studio. Content is gonna slow down. I ask for your understanding of that, but hopefully it will ramp up once we've all settled into the new studio. That's the idea anyway. That's why we're doing this. It's so we have a dedicated space where we can stream, record at any time, because right now, you know, I'm in an apartment. I really can't make any noise past 10 p.m. Sometimes I do it. I haven't heard any neighbor complaints, but Warak certainly has. Like, Warak streams at 1:30 a.m. All the time because he's on TGN Squadron, and TGN Squadron works with Pacific Standard Time, which is an 8-hour difference. So for him, it's a pain. Like, he has to stream while talking really low, and he has certainly done that with some of our videos. If you go watch the Attack on Titan and ask why is he talking like that, well, that's why, because he's gotten in trouble with neighbors before. And Vegeta's just doesn't do it. Like, it is forbidden in his house to make noise past 10 p.m. So that's a problem that will be solved, and hopefully we'll also be able to bring you more and more and more content. That's the idea, at least. So stick around. I've shown you this studio before the construction was made. I'll show you once again. I'll give you a studio tour once the thing is ready. Thanks for watching, guys. Stick around. Bye.